warm welcome to Sports Coverage with me, Aradhi and Rishi. I'm Rahul, and yeah, semi-finals of the Euros, guys, coming up, and we had some really good quarterfinal fixtures, um, exciting games that have gone to extra time. We saw a comeback in the final one, the Netherlands beating Turkey 2-1 after going goal down. Spain's clash with Germany was exciting. We've already spoken about that. So we've spoken about Portugal and France. England's game against Switzerland went to penalties. So we had very close games, I think, in all of these quarterfinal games. And now moving to the semi-finals, Spain take on France, big one. Rishi, coming to you first about this Spain versus France, because dude, it's not as straightforward as probably it seems, because Spain have been probably the better team, probably one of the best teams in this competition so far, but they're missing so many players for this. We'll go through them. Yeah, what's your feeling for Spain versus France?
I mean, if I were a Spain fan, I wouldn't be too concerned, like as compared to being a France. If I were a France supporter, because like even when France were like dominant and successful, like in the 2018 World Cup or in the 2022 World Cup, like you could see that like they weren't creating outright left like a lot of chances, but their defense was always solid. They weren't
Hmm.
very susceptible, and they always found a way to create chances. Like they were feeding Griezmann the ball consistently, who was managing to create a lot of chances. And I think if I'm not wrong, 2022 up until the final or something, or even the entire tournament, Griezmann was their like highest chance creator, if I'm not wrong. So like he was their main source, and they were creating like a decent amount of chances, but that has like dropped suddenly all of a sudden. Like it's like there's a lot of difference from that France team and this France team. Like they seem devoid of ideas. Like they don't know what to do. They're getting the ball. Like right now, they're feeding it to Mbappe. Mbappe is trying to get away from the defender, like create an angle and shoot. That's basically their principle. Otherwise, there's no plan B for them. And what's concerning for me is their sure shot plan B, who is Giroud, is on the bench, and he is the one striker who hasn't actually featured, who hasn't like been given a chance to show like, okay, this is the definite. Like you see, even Netherlands, whenever they go a goal down, whenever they seem like devoid of ideas, they straight up put someone like Wood Weghorst on the pitch, and Wood Weghorst almost instantly makes a difference. Like this time, France are hesitating to do that, and that's slightly concerning. But from a Spain perspective, of course, they are losing players like Lenormand. They're losing, even the bigger concern, they're losing Carvajal also.
They're
And it
missing
was
Morata
earlier
as
said
well.
that no, it was said that Morata is missing, but then he clarified that the yellow card was not for him, and apparently he's available for
Oh,
selection. So
okay.
Lenormand's unavailable, but Nacho I feel can come in and do a decent job. But for me, the bigger concern will be Carvajal, because although Carvajal was not that great going forward, he was always very solid at the back. Like he could cover the ground. He is more defensively solid than his natural replacement, who's gonna be Jesus Navas. Like he's not played at the highest level. He's done decently for Sevilla, but I don't know if he can cope up to someone like an Mbappe or a Thuram, who are much more stronger and faster. So that is going to be a primary concern
Hmm.
for me. But other than that, I think Spain, if they play the way they did against Germany, I think they should get the job done.
Okay. Okay. Adi, another concern for them is Pedri, of course. You think in the absence of Pedri, Carvajal, and Lenormand, they'll be fine?
See, the other thing, right? Losing, especially Carval, is a huge, huge loss. I think Lenormand, I feel like Nacho is still a good replacement, as she said. I mean, at least a viable replacement. It's not like Lenormand was convincing with his, defensive abilities and responsibilities. But I think, missing Petty, I mean, looking at the last game, I don't think we saw that as a concern, right? Especially again going to a tournament where you need more direct players. I think almost suits them better, anyways, because Pedri, we've seen him in tournaments throughout, the World Cup, the previous Euros, not been very effective for Spain. And I feel like Spain are better off without Pedri, especially in these tournaments, than with Pedri, because again he slows things down. He's a guy who can, keep the possession, play it well, stitch passes well. But again, you need more direct players when you're playing in a so-called knockout competition, because goals are very important, and that's why I think Danny Olmo brings that to the Spain squad. He's already scored more goals than Pedri has this tournament with playing less minutes, anyways. And we saw that in the last game also. He scored a goal, assisted a goal also. So I don't think they're going to miss a lot with Pedri in terms of directness towards goal. And I feel like against a France team, counter attacks is going to be very important. And you can see the Spain team has become more of a counter-attacking team than they were before. Before we used to always look at them and say, okay, they were very good at build-up. Previously with Luis Enrique, they were a very slow team. They liked keeping the ball, liked keeping the players behind the ball. But now they become all counter-attacking players. Like the flow itself is very counter-attacking. You see the wingers; they love to counter-attack. They love exploiting, the width and space behind the defense. Loves trying to, loves playing 1v1 with the fullbacks. Morata is a guy who likes dragging centre backs out anyways. So they become a very counter-attacking team. And this entire tournament, you look at their goals, it's been on counter-attacks. It's not been on build-up plays. It's not been there on, putting the ball inside the box after 20, 30 passes. And in terms of that, I think it's going to be a good matchup with France, because the France defensively are very solid. The fullbacks are capable of keeping the so-called wingers quiet. So the entire tournament, I think this will be Spain's toughest challenge for sure, because this
Okay.
team, at least defensively, have been very solid. And I again, looking back at the Germany Spain game, we couldn't really, we couldn't sit and say, okay, Spain are the sure favorites because they dominated the game. To be fair, they won the game very luckily, because they could have considered a lot of goals. Plus, you know, Germany should have had a penalty also in the dying minutes of the extra time.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I still don't think Spain are fully convincing from my point of view. And I think France can win this game, especially with Mbappe maybe having a easier challenge, with most likely Nacho and Navas coming into the side. I don't know if
Mhm.
Navas will end up playing, if the manager plays him, then I still think
I think he has
is
to play. No, they don't have another right back.
yeah, but who else is at defense, bro? Like that's the thing. I still think
If
Navas is just
Nacho,
too.
if they put Nacho right back, who will play centre back?
Dude, that's the thing. I mean, I would have felt like put Roddy center back, Nacho right back, but I mean, for sure, I know that it hasn't worked out before. Also for Spain, like when Busquets was there, Roddy was playing center back. He did a decent job. It was not like he was great, but he did the job for Spain when Busquets was in the team, especially in the World
Mm.
Cups. Right? He used to play with Laporte at a point of time. I think if you want to risk it, you can try that just for the sake of having better defensive stability than having Navas. Not saying Navas is not a good defender, but I personally haven't seen him play much, in the highest stages. Plus, he's pretty old. But you can always have surprising names like Navas can still keep Mbappe quiet. We never know that. But me as a manager, maybe in this point of view, I would be a bit more conservative. Play Rodri, as a centre back, and play Nacho because I at least feel like if I have Nacho versus Mbappe in the 1v1 situations, I feel like Nacho still has a better opportunity or a better defensive. Dude, he's had so much experience in the UCLs.
Who
He's
plays?
played
Who
against.
plays in defensive midfield then?
I think you can get in someone like Zubimendi or maybe,
But bro,
at
he
least.
hasn't played a single
He
minute.
hasn't. Yeah,
I
Zubimendi
know.
hasn't played. It's
I
a
know that,
huge gap.
but still, I mean, going to play against the team of France who have like again sentiments who are not that great. I still feel like maybe Conte is their only good midfielder. But then if Rabiot comes back in the squad, I don't think I'm going to sit and say, okay, now Rabiot is back in the squad. That's mostly like what Deschamps will come back, And if Kamavinga goes back to the bench, I still feel like Zubimendi can do a good job. I'm not sitting and saying it's a risk. It has to be a risk because you're in this situation, right? You have to take risks
Yeah.
because ideally, if you had all your players, you would obviously want to play, your Rodri in CDM, Kava right back. But I at least for me, in terms of big knockout games, in terms of experience, I feel like the matchup of Nacho versus Mbappe will be more important than Zubimendi versus someone like, a Rabiot. I think that's not as much of a game changer. And to be fair, Zubimendi has a lot of experience. He's played against teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, played in the UCL against PSG also. It's not something like he's lacking experience. He's lacking a lot of it. He's also played a lot of international games for Spain. So it's like he can make still come in and do a decent job compared to, at least for me, Nawaz. But that's the thing. We'll have to see.
Yeah, yeah. Rishi, who's favorites for you before we move on to England and Netherlands?
See, France, you can say they've been underwhelming going forward, but their defense has also been very solid. Like they've, I don't think they've conceded an open play goal all tournament. Like, and that works the other way also. They haven't scored an open play goal all tournament. So it's that they're a weird team. Like they're not easy to break down, but they'll just stay there and not create much chances also. But Spain, on the other hand, you know what you're gonna get from Spain. They're gonna try and hold on to the ball a little bit more, and they're gonna create few chances. Like the wingers, their wingers are on top of their game. They're like very confident. They have the backing. They have the backing of a few good performances also. So I would feel the game is pretty open, but slight advantage to Spain.
Okay.
Just by the way they've been playing throughout the tournament for both the teams.
I think Spain have. I think I have to agree. I think Spain have the advantage going in. But yeah, we move to England, Netherlands. Adi, what do you think about this one? Because it's another interesting contest. England haven't been great again. They just about got through. Netherlands, on the other hand, had to fight hard against Turkey to come back and win that. But they showed enough. Again, I feel like Netherlands have showed that they have enough creativity. They have enough. They have the players to give them enough chances, but it's just about them taking it in the end. But yeah, what do you think about Netherlands, England?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about, let me talk about Netherlands first because I think it's the easier of the two. Firstly, I still think against the Turkey, the quarterfinals against Turkey, I still think Turkey was a better team overall. Turkey actually had a lot of good chances also. I think at the end of the day, maybe that quality in the defense just lacked a bit more for Turkey. I mean, they scored a set piece goal anyways, and then the second goal was an own goal. I think it was more of the defensive awareness, stability, or just maybe a bit lack of quality compared to the so-called attack of Netherlands. Won the game for Netherlands, but Turkey had a lot of good chances. I still think Turkey played very well. They defended the entire game pretty good until the last 15 minutes where they conceded to two goals out of the corner and that Gakpo ricocheted own goal. Overall, Turkey could have won that game with ease because they also had a lot of good chances. But looking at Netherlands, see, I think they're going to come up against a very lackluster England team. But to be fair, England, when I saw them play against Switzerland, were the better side. Uh, At least edged towards Switzerland. I mean England, because Switzerland played good. Switzerland played good in phases of the game, you know. But overall, I still think you know England just had the better quality, as I've said, and from a very long time. They just have the quality. Maybe why they come to the semi-finals, it's not because of their manager, it's not because of luck, it's not because of some great tactical shift revolution where they're in the semis. It's maybe just in those small moments of games. You saw against, the previous game where Bellingham bicycle and they're back in the game. Same
Yeah.
thing against Switzerland, Saka's brilliance takes a long range shot, goes in, back in the game. And penalty shootouts, again, maybe England just had the better quality in terms of penalties over
Yeah, yeah.
Switzerland. To be fair, the one who missed was Akanji, so-called, a good defender playing for City. But again, it's margins. It's all about margins. And I think these two teams will be a very close contest because, to be fair, both teams overall, the entire competition have not really, been like, okay, wow, Netherlands are a great team. Wow, England are a great team. You can say Netherlands only good game came against Romania. And I still think even that Romania game was, even though they had a lot of chances, if that Gakpo goal didn't go in, which was a terrible, piece of keeping, you could never know. You could have always had a different game. I mean, to be fair, at the end of the day, they won 3-0, but they were very dominant. But again, it was against the Romania team. So, but if I put England against the same Romanian team, I think England would have still struggled. So I think it's a bit of that. But coming into the semifinals, I still believe England can get a job done. Just because of what I've said, the quality of the players. Because
Interesting. I think they do have quality and they've shown that this year. Yeah, what Adi said makes sense because it's down to those moments where they've turned up, where the players, the real quality players have turned up. Again in the shootout, they turned up. I think they put away really good penalties. I think most of the England players. So yeah, I think that sort of has made the difference for them. Although they have been really poor. But yeah, who do you think goes in as favorites between England and Netherlands?
I'm tired of calling England underdog. I mean, England playing horrible football and then just somehow
Yeah,
managing to
dude.
get
Like, what is
match.
this? Why do they keep going through
At
this
this
usual
point,
this
I'm just like,
rapid
you know what?
awakening?
Just stop slating them. They've like you see, pretty much you know what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get some suddenly they're not gonna show up and play some beautiful football like how Spain play. Like you know what you're gonna get. It's gonna be calculated. It's gonna be safe football. It's gonna be very predictable. Players are at times they're gonna look very lost. Players are gonna look confused, but they're gonna hold a defensive shape and they're gonna somehow squeeze out a goal from absolutely nowhere. And it's so inevitable. Like they're almost like the Real Madrid UCL sides. Like, but
Uh-huh.
although Real Madrid they tend to create more chances. Like on the breaks, you can see them actually create chances. Here, you don't even see them. But then, like the template is almost the same. Just stay steady, the attacking players, they have enough quality to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And I think it's time at least the England fans just accept what this team and what this coach is about. Like you can't it's pretty much illogical for you to expect anything different. Like so just enjoy the ride. Like okay, it's gonna be topsy-turvy, it's gonna be roller coaster, but just that is it. And I think it's Southgate's 8th year almost, so I'm fairly sure. I don't think how many years left in his contract. I'm not
This year
sure if
it
he
ends
has.
this year. It
Yeah,
ends this
exactly.
year.
So probably this might be his last game, or this might be his last tournament as well. So it might go into a new direction. So might as well just enjoy it while it's there. Just whatever is there, just enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah, continue.
yeah, and as for Netherlands, like Adi said, like their most comfortable game was Romania, and even then, just before they scored their goals, I think Romania were holding the ball better, and they had a couple of half chances. They were getting forward very well, and Netherlands, their defense seems very leaky, and this is the kind of defense that England with their quality forwards, like someone like a Harry Kane, someone like a Foden or Saka, one person can just beat a man and you'll find a gap in between, or in behind the lines also. So they have enough quality to punish Netherlands and put them away if they're not disciplined about it. So
Yep.
I don't know if, again, going by how both the teams have been playing football, I would say slightly Netherlands are in a better position. But then again, Netherlands haven't convinced me either. And to be fair, Turkey did play a better game again in the quarterfinals. So I don't know. I think this is pretty much anyone's game.
Okay, interesting. It's hard to call. I think both the semifinals, but for me at least, yeah, I'm just going to say Netherlands go in as favorite just because the number of chances they've created in the past, and I think if it's just down to taking them, I think Memphis Depay can sort of turn up, take a couple of chances, man. They'll do well. But yeah, that's what we have, guys. These are the two semifinals lined up for Euro 2024. Spain taking on France, and Netherlands face England. So yeah, going to be fun. We'll see who makes it to the final. We'll be back before that as well for another podcast. Like and share the videos. Let us know who you think will make it into the final of Euro 2024. Subscribe to Sports Kabli. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.